lives, those people more than likely have brought us something. They brought us some reflection of ourself. And the hard part, and why, like I said earlier, why I see it tends to seem like so many people are just like, oh, that person was a bad person and I'm just moving on, and nobody deals with why. Why was you in that situation? Why did you end up with that person? Why did you choose that person? What was God's intention for you being in that situation? What did you bring from it? What did you learn from it? What did you overcome or whatever? And this is just not only romantic relationships. This could be family. It could be a situation like a job. The things that we go through in life teach us something about where we are and who we are, and where we're headed. So when we get in, like, say, previous relationships and we come out of those breakups, we come out of those situations, they're not always bad. Sometimes they just didn't work out, right? So whatever the case may be, you get in that situation, you come out of that situation. And if you're not able to look back and see some sort of change within yourself, and it could be the smallest change. It could be that, okay, all of a sudden I found that I like something new that I never knew that I was into before. You know what I'm saying? Maybe your person never been camping. All of a sudden this person was an outdoors person. And even though the relationship didn't work, now you like doing outdoor events. So now I like camping. I like this. I like that. And so it could be the smallest thing that you're learning or discovering about yourself, or it could be the hardest thing you're discovering about yourself. At the end of the day, when you have been in a past relationship, if you have not walked away from that situation learning something, or something has changed in you, then you didn't really learn the lesson there, and you're going to repeat it. Because everybody we meet, everybody we encounter on a significant level, I say maybe 6 months to a year or more, you've known this person, or they've been in your life, there was something there that person was reflecting back to you. It could be that you were a good person and you used to running into crappy people, and you said, why do I keep running into these crappy people the same? Maybe you running into people that's just always not ready. That something always seemed to be in the way. There's something always seemed to be kind of wrong in the situation. Whatever the situation is, it's showing you something about yourself. You're learning something from that situation, because we learn from people because they reflect us. And a lot of people say, well, no, that was just a crappy person and blah, blah, blah. But that crappy person was probably teaching you that you were a good person. Maybe you're not respecting that about yourself. Maybe you're not honoring that about yourself. The fact that you are a good person and you're wasting valuable time with people that are not worthy of your goodness. And so you'll keep meeting that type of energy until you get tired. Until you learn the lesson, until you realize that I should be requiring more. And so once you realize that you need to be requiring more, then you change. You change the situation going forward. Now you're pulling in different energy. Then you're pulling in different type of people. So I see so many people that are like getting in these situations and they say, oh, that person's bad. They just hop to the next one. And some people are with the next person before they even leave the other person because they don't want to feel no sort of pain. These are people who are not learning the lesson. If you have not learned from a previous situation and you're not able to look back, you should be able to look back on every significant encounter you've had in your life and discern for yourself what that person brought into your life, what that person showed you or revealed to you about where you're headed in your life going forward. Because as we meet new people, we meet those new people because they're on the path, meaning you're in motion. You're in motion. So you're meeting them on the path to where you're headed. And sometimes we don't even know what that path is. But that person might come along and reveal a piece of it. You get what I'm saying? That person might come along, and like I said, it could be a crappy situation, but you're learning something from that. It could be a great situation that just didn't work out. And you say, well, dang, why did I meet this great person, but for some reason we can't pull it together? That also could be telling you something about yourself, because a lot of times, oftentimes, if we meet people, for instance, and we feel ignored by them, or we feel like they're not valuing us, it's because we're not valuing ourselves, and they're reflecting that back to you. So when I say to people that something must die in you when you get into new situations, something that you have previously associated with past relationships. Maybe a woman might say, okay, all men are this. Or a man say all women are this. Because you're judging your current situation or every situation coming towards you on all the no good, this and that from the past. But if you don't have discernment over that, if you haven't truly evaluated those situations and really said, what is God trying to tell me about what I need to change, develop, understand about my life and love, relationships, and everything going forward. If you can't do that, you're going to keep running into the same crappy mindset people that you've been running into in the past. But that also means that you're still holding on to a piece of that yourself. You get what I'm saying? You're still holding on to the ideas that sometimes are poisoning us. Because how can we say, because we met a string of crappy people or people who wasn't ready or people who was cheaters or whatever the case may be, we've met a string of women or men like that. So now we tell ourselves, oh, that's every man, that's every woman. But how can you say that? Because if you're saying you're a good person, then what does that mean? You're also saying that about yourself. This is stuff we're manifesting and putting into the universe. So now we're telling the universe, we're telling the world that, hey, I can't get nobody good because I ain't good either. You know what I'm saying? And we don't look at it like that. So you have to be able to look back on previous situations and discern what you learn from those situations. You have to have discernment over it. You have to be able to, in other words, understand why that person came into your life, what they brought into your life. And if you do it, if you really sit and evaluate yourself in every person you've met and said, okay, not what I had like that person. Sometimes that is the case, that maybe you had something like that person that needed to shift and change. And you met this person that's so much like you in order to reflect that back to you, the things that you need to change. But then it could be the opposite as well. You could meet someone that's totally different from you. A complete butthole. You get what I'm saying? Complete asshole. And you say, how did that person come to my life? Why do I keep meeting the people that need help? Because you're not helping yourself. You're not putting yourself first. See, people who, and I can say that because I'm a person that tend to get in connections and lose myself because I'm always trying to fix or be there for the other person, so much so that I look up and I forgot about me. And so when I do that, now I look back on it, I understand why I kept meeting these type of people. Like, man, I always meet the people that seem to need help, that seem to need something from me. But, those type of people, a lot of times they don't see you as a person. They see what they need from you. And so what I had to learn from that is that I wasn't putting that same attention into myself. And so because I was lacking it in myself, it was showing up in other people. See, the things that we have inside of us have to come out some type of way. It has to materialize in the real world. So it's going to come out either through you or through something you are manifesting towards you. So if you're not looking at the situation and learning from it and really, really truthfully learning that, hey, you know what? This person is always asking me for something. You know what I'm saying? They always need something. And it's just not equal. You know what I'm saying? It's not that equal give and take. Then you have to say to yourself that I'm not balancing out my life. That could be about balance. And that might mean that you need balance in your whole life. And so you meet people that are unbalanced in different ways, unbalanced emotionally, meaning they won't give you as much as you give them. Mentally, they won't give you as much as you give them. You know what I'm saying? Spiritually, sexually. And so we have to start digging deep and really understanding that we have to kill off something, we have to shed something every time we meet and interact with a new person. And it could be a job. Like I said, it don't have to be a physical relationship where you know what I'm saying? It could be your situation with your parents, your children. It could be a situation at work where you need to leave that job, but you're not leaving that job because you're holding on to this mindset. You get what I'm saying? Well, I got to work for money. If I don't work hard, then you know what I'm saying? That old song that most of us fall for, not realizing that if you're living, you're living. See, the job, you can go get a job anywhere. If you're a worker and you're willing to work and you know you're a hard worker, you can get a job anywhere. You can always replace your income, but you cannot replace living in that joy that you'll get from just being in a place where you're happy. And so that job can now be a reflection of your lack of not giving yourself that happiness. You're not willing to give yourself happiness. So guess what? The job is now showing up as a sore thumb every day, because that's what you're telling you. This how I look at my life. I'm never gonna have no happiness. I'm just gonna always be, a victim to working and slaving or loving somebody. Some people be like, oh, but I love that person so much, and I don't know how to not love this hard, because I love hard. I love people hard. And when I love them, it's like a lot of times in my life, I have found I've had to walk away from people and still love them, but walk away from them, and a lot of times it's like you have to understand that you are being placed in those situations to see something in order to develop a stronger muscle, develop something that you needed to develop in order to step into the next phase of whatever is supposed to be coming into your life. But when we don't kill off those old ways of thinking, and we don't kill off those old ways of looking at situations, then we carry that into the next situation. And now every guy we get with, every woman we get with looks like that last person. And we'll actually start to fool our mind and trick our mind into believing that we see something sometime that ain't even there. They start an argument with you, or they say something, they say something, and you start an argument with them because it looks like and sounds like they were getting ready to say something that your ex or some past person said, and then now it's done triggered you. That's not good. This is why we are constantly creating an atmosphere for ourselves where we're creating the same drama, so to speak, over and over and over. What's good, Gordon? We're creating the same situation for ourselves that don't have to be there. When a person is optimistic and they're looking at life from their higher self, because that's the only time we can truly be in the state of optimism, is when we're feeling good. We're feeling like we can conquer the world. We're not allowing anything to come in to make us think negative of our situation or who we are in a situation. Then that is when you can pull positive things towards you, because everybody you meet, you should be giving them a new version of you. something should have changed from the last person you were with. And like I said, it could be the smallest thing. It could be, oh, well, shit, I realize now that I like to wear cowgirl boots. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying it could be the smallest thing. That, okay, now I like going camping. You know what I'm saying? It's just something new has developed within you. It should be a burst of light that has come through you with every person that you encounter that is significant in your life. I'm not saying everybody who walks up and down the street and you know what I'm saying, and you meet everybody everywhere. I'm saying people who are 6 months to a year who have been in your life in a significant way of some sort, or a job, a situation that's been there for a while that is hindering. It's become a sore in your life. It's a sore because it's trying to tell you that you're hurting yourself in some type of way. The only time we hurt is when we're hurting ourselves. Think about what I just said. The only time we hurt is when we're hurting ourselves. When someone else is attempting to hurt you, if you're not allowing that and you're not putting yourself in harm's way, you're not going to be hurt by that. You're only hurt when you've allowed the person or the situation to come in and now fester. It's pushing you to be out of your comfort zone, because now you're putting yourself in a situation of doing something that you really don't want to do. You really want to walk away from. You really don't agree with. But now I'm changing my morals. I'm changing my values. I'm shifting who I am in order to fit in this mode of this relationship, or fit in this mode of this situation. Maybe it's a job that you want to walk away from. Hell, people might say I'm crazy, but I say, leave the damn job. Leave the person. Because guess what? I can tell you, and I'm a living witness, there has never been a situation I've been through that God ain't brought me through. There has never been a situation that I have been through that God has not brought me through, that I have not seen myself come through the other side on a good note. You only going to go through a storm so long. But see, we don't want to go through that little bit of pain of that breakup with that person and realizing that it ain't healthy to get to the other person that may be better. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to go through that little, oh, it's going to be a couple of months, or for some people it might be a year or two. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this job, it's going to be hard to leave this job because, I'm used to getting paid X amount of dollars. Well, guess what? That's just going to put more fire under your butt to go make that money now in a different way. It's going to put more fire under your butt to go out and find a better relationship. So we have to learn to release things in order to step into what is truly and rightfully there for us. And if we can't do that, we will find ourselves, like I'm saying, unhealed, constantly meeting the same scenario over and over and over again. Same people. You know what I'm saying? I used to say to myself all the time, well, I always meet all these people that are just so like clingy and needy and possessive. I meet a lot of, people that want to control me. You know what I'm saying? And I had to really sit back and analyze for myself, what is this? Part of it, I came to the conclusion is that I was not having enough control over my own life. So it's easier for someone else to come in and control a situation that's not being controlled. You get what I'm saying? You have to really sit back and see what you're missing, the pieces of the puzzle, and discern over why people come in your life, what they're bringing you and what they are taking from you. Because sometimes they're taking something from you that don't need to be taken from you, but then sometimes they're taking something from you that does. Because that relationship might have been crappy and you might have learned to not argue with somebody. You might have learned to let it go. You know what I'm saying? Let it rest. Like I learned from arguing, to sun up to sundown with this person to just walk away. So really analyze situations and really say to yourself, step back. Look at the people who really touched you in your life in some type of way. It really meant something to you. And really think about, when that person was in my life, where was I at? What did I learn from that? How have I progressed now that they're not in my life? Am I still in the same state of mind? Am I still, if you met a person that's everywhere, unbalanced, maybe they ain't got their stuff together, and you like, why is it, I'm meeting all these people that want me to take care of them? Because you ain't taking care of you. You're not taking care of you. And until you stop doing it, you're going to continue to keep meeting people like this. And we could use it as an excuse all day long. All day long, we keep telling ourselves, oh, well, I'm just the victim. I just keep meeting all these people that's just so, they just come in and they just do me so wrong. But at the end of the day, you are the leading corporate in that situation that's doing yourself a disservice, because you're unwilling to heal something that you've probably been doing in every relationship for God knows how long, and you're unwilling to realize that. You have to kill off, you have to shed something every time you meet a new person. It should be a new light that comes through, and it should be something that you drop off, because that means that person is the same person you just broke up with. You might as well just stay with the other person. So you definitely have to kill off something. And I think people don't realize is that sometimes that's the blessing. The blessing is the fact that person came in and shook up your world. We'll be like, oh, I don't want to meet crappy people. But if you ain't been through nothing, you ain't going nowhere. Where are you going in life if you've never experienced anything? You've never been through anything hard. You've never been through anything bad. You don't even know what good is. You don't know what it feels like to be with a good man or a good woman if you ever had a crappy one. So it's like we look at those situations, we feel sorry for ourselves, but guess what? 9 times out of 10, if you're still meeting crappy people, you're not ready yet. There's something you're still working on that you have yet to allow to change in your situation for yourself in order to get to the other side. And like I said, it could be small things. People think they have to just change just dramatically. No, like you literally could just change how you talking to a person. You know what I'm saying? If you're a person that when I like somebody, I start crushing on them. The next thing you know, I'm texting them like crazy. Then you got to set boundaries for yourself and say, you know what? This time I'm going to wait for them to text me. Do something new. Change up. Switch up. Because if you're doing the same thing and you're getting the same results, something is broken in your situation and how you approaching the situation. Something is broken. If we get up every day and go to work or be with a person, and every day we get up, we tired, it just feels like a job. Like you just, oh God, every day I get up, I cook for him, I clean for him, I you know what I'm saying? I bring her breakfast in bed, or I do this and that for her, and you're getting the same results from that person or that situation. You don't feel empowered. You know what I'm saying? You don't feel inspired when you're around that person. And I'm not saying a person will inspire you every day, but it should be something about them that brings forth a spark, a light in you. Something that makes you want to keep going within that situation. And if it's not, something is dying. Something is dying. And we got to realize that oftentimes when something dies in that connection, the connection probably is dying. Everybody who come in your life is not supposed to be there forever. Some people come in, and even married people come in sometimes because you done chose the wrong mate from the gate. That person comes in and they're only supposed to be there for a short period of time. And you know that it's over with because it starts to get hard. It starts to get unbearable. That means you can't go in, and you're unable to go in and change the situation anymore. You're no longer able to go in and say, "Hey, babe, I'm sorry," and they just say, oh, "Okay, I forgive you." That's not working no more. When whatever you were doing before is not working, something has to change. I don't care if it's your job, like I'm saying. I don't care if it's the people you're around, your friends, your family, a significant love. You know what I'm saying? Something has to change in your life, or you are not healing. You're not working on yourself. And you may be feeling like you're gaining things in life because, oh, well, I was able to buy me a new car, or I bought me a new outfit, or I acquired certain things in my life. But how many people we don't know that's filthy rich and miserable? And we hear them say that all the time, because they may have gained material wealth, but they are not abundant within. They are not happy with themselves. They have not healed, and they have not basically lived and healed themselves from things that are happening in their life. They just kept moving. And that's what I mean when I say people get in these relationships, they break up, and then they get right into another one, or they stay in that one, and they, before they leave that one, they done got into another relationship because they don't want to be alone, or they don't want to hurt. You just keep moving. You ain't even trying to stop to look back and say, well, damn, what was that? Why did I go through that? Why did I meet this person? You know what I'm saying? If anyone has ever told you they love you, I would sit back and I would evaluate that relationship. I would say to myself, what did they love about me? Why did they come into my look? Really look at it. When that person entered your life, did your life get better? Or did it get worse? Did it stay the same? You get what I'm saying? When they left your life, did it get better? Did it get worse? Did it stay the same? And I always tell people, money is energy, and money is a for sure sign when somebody ain't good for you, because your money be funny. And I don't mean necessarily that you don't have money. It could just be that you're constantly stressing over money. It could be that you're constantly stressing over bills, or, man, oh God, I got money, but I don't, it's just always hard, because money is energy. And usually when we put energy out, we get energy back, and it usually comes in a material form or some type of physical form. Like I said, anything inside of us has to come out. So whatever energy we have inside of us that we push out into the universe, it's going to come back some kind of way. It's going to come back some kind of way. And it might be that blessing when that person calls and say, hey, guess what? I'm going on this trip, and I'm taking you on a trip, or somebody just do something out of the blue for you, send you some money, or do something beautiful for you, buy you some flowers, cook for you, anything that's going to make you happy. That's energy you put out. That comes from the beauty that you have been putting out into the world. And so you receive that back. But we block that off when we don't have discernment enough over our past situations. And we're not able to look at those past situations and like I'm saying, learn from them. It should be a little nugget in there every time. It don't have to be nothing massive, but it got to be a little nugget. You might meet a really handsome guy or a really beautiful woman, and for whatever reason, it didn't work out. And you think, why did I meet that person? Well, they were a great person, but it didn't go nowhere. Well, guess what? God could have been just reminding you of your beauty. Just something simple like that. God could have just reminding you of your beauty. But we don't look at this stuff. We be so fixated on the idea of every man is this, every woman is that. Oh, I hear men say this a lot. Oh, I know women. You can't tell me about no woman. I know a woman. But guess what? Every woman is different. You know the women you grew up around and the women you drew towards you in your life. And depending on what the heck you was doing in your life and what you wasn't doing in your life, You could have been drawing all kind of crappy women towards you because of what you were doing in your life or who you were around, the situations you've allowed yourself to grow, how much you've allowed yourself to stretch and not stretch. So you're going to base that on every woman you meet? You're going to be mad every time. Because this is why you'll see some men and women meet a good woman or a good man and they don't know how to treat them. Because every woman or man they've had before was no good. But that's what you drew towards you. And so now that you may have healed yourself a little bit, you start to do better, and then God grants you access to someone who's better now in your life, you don't know how to treat them. Because you've never encountered someone so truthful. Yeah, she got to be lying. She got to be lying. She can't be, she can't have that much integrity. You know what I'm saying? He got to be cheating. Ain't no way no man ain't going to cheat at some point. You know what I'm saying? And they just be on a tangent with it. And I'm going to say this before I leave, because I don't want to hold y'all too long. But every man that I've ever encountered in my life, whether it's family or just in general, have been faithful and at one point have been a cheater. So what does that tell me? Men can be faithful, but they also can be cheaters. And I guarantee you it depends on the phase in his life that he's in, whether or not he's going to cheat or he going to be more faithful. But everybody's capable of it. So I can't meet every man I meet. I can't put in my mind, oh, he going to cheat. He's a cheater. Because the reality of it is that hell yeah, there's a lot of cheating going on and there's a lot of not cheating going on. But anybody's capable of it. And I'm going to say this. If men knew how much women cheat, I don't think they would ever cheat again in life. If men really knew in 2024 how much women cheat today, I don't think a man would ever cheat again in life. But that's just the reality of it. Then you have a lot of women that's very faithful. So that means that it's out there. There are women out there that are good. There are men out there that are good. But you're not going to encounter this unless you start to peel away the layers and do the work. Like I said, if you ain't been nowhere in life, you ain't going nowhere in life. You have to go through the bad relationships to know that it's a good one. You got to meet the crappy men to know that it's a good one. And I guarantee you, if you meet a real bad person and you go through a hard time, that next relationship is going to be a little bit better. And the next one after that, every relationship should get a little bit better. It should be a little progress in every step. But that's all going to depend on how much you have learned from the past and not the other way around. It's not, oh, people are running into me. People ain't, people just act like people just running into you for no reason. Like, oh, I'm just meeting all these people. You meeting them just like they meeting you. So somebody drew that connection to, you know what I'm saying? You drew that connection to yourself. But then it's, oh, I keep meeting all these crappy people. You met them just like they met you. So you got to do the work. You got to heal. You have to let go of something with every person you meet. And you have to gain something from every person you meet. If you meet a person that's always arguing and all that, start looking at yourself. Figure out if because arguing is not just you go deeper. A person who argues a whole lot is also a person who don't listen. They're also a person who's closed off. Do any of those things relate to you? You get what I'm saying? They're also a person who tend to be closed-minded. So it's like, think to yourself, really evaluate the whole situation. Don't just stick right on the attribute or the thing that person does that get under your skin. It could be a family member, like I'm saying, to get on your daggone nerves. We all have those people. And you'd be like, man, this person get on my nerves because they sneaky. And they always doing little sneaky stuff, right? And then you say to yourself, what does sneaky really mean? Would really evaluate that. Somebody that sometimes does not like to reveal themselves. And then you go deeper, somebody who is living behind a mask. And then really ask yourself, like, am I doing any of these things in any aspect of my life? Because it could be the thing that God is trying to reveal to you. But I just wanted to share this with you guys. Like I said, I've seen so many people lately, even more so in 2024, that just seem like nobody really trusts relationships because they're so busy in the mind state that everybody's the same. Everybody, whoever I have from the past is going to be what I see in the future. And I hear so many women in particular whining online about how they don't have a man. But I bet you that man is right in your face, but you can't receive him yet because you have not done the work to heal yourself. You haven't released a certain mindset. It could be the smallest thing of just believing that everybody cheat, or believing that everybody is coming in to get something from you and don't want to give something to you. You know what I'm saying? So just sit back, look at your past situation. Like I said, if anybody who's ever loved you, look at that connection, evaluate it, think about the things they said to you and didn't say to you that you wanted to hear. And why didn't this person say this? Why didn't this person show a certain love or affection to me? Why didn't they give me some of the things that I felt like I deserved? How was I behaving in that connection? Was it even my behavior? Maybe it was just that I was allowing too much and I wasn't requiring enough. So really just evaluate those things. And you don't have to be perfect in the next connection, but like I said, tweak a little bit of that. Like, okay, well, next time I'm gonna do this instead of that. I'm not, and not in a mean way, not, nobody else is gonna run over me and I'm just gonna be mean to everybody. No, I mean, tweak the little, so, well, maybe I'll be a little open-minded and maybe I will travel a little more. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that person liked traveling and you didn't, and they just didn't want to be with a person who wasn't into traveling. Maybe you say, okay, I'll open my horizon. You know what I'm saying? But evaluate when you're talking to a person. Think about what they're saying to you and what they're not saying to you. And really say, what am I learning from this person? And if this person is bringing light into my life, you need to hold on to those people. And hold on to them until you don't feel that light any longer. And when that light starts to dim, then you go inward and evaluate why. Is it because the connection is over? Or is it because there's a new phase that's coming in within yourself that you have to go to the next level? Because we don't evaluate that as well. And that might be a whole nother podcast, but we don't think about how we change in situations, and we have to keep evolving, keep changing, keep going up the ladder to the next phase of who we are, even in marriages, even in long-term relationships. And if you don't do that, then it becomes stagnant, it becomes broken. And so think about what I'm saying, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this conversation. This has been the Woman's Perspective podcast. Like I always say to y'all, if y'all have questions, comments, things you want me to just go into and really talk about, leave it in my inbox. I'll discuss it. I don't have to bring your name up. You could be anonymous. It doesn't matter. But if you have questions or topics you want me to speak on, just leave them. And the people who join me, they know I'll just talk on it. So hope y'all have a good night. All right, y'all, be blessed.